is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish is in police custody. A ray of hope diminishes. Bahamian boxing legend Lorenzo Ray Minus Jr. passes away at the age of 58. And in our interview, BAIC General Manager Troy Sampson, we talk about what BAIC can do for you. That all straight ahead this morning. I want to say Chester. Don't say Chester? Okay. I'm Chester Robards, and I'm filling in for Dwight. She's Glenn.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, April 28th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Again, I am Stephen Hatter, filling in for Dwight Strachan at the moment. Nicholas Hall will be joining us. Also this morning, we are going to talk about a lot of stuff. But first, the overnight. The latest breaking news from while you were sleeping in the top national and international headlines this morning. Police confirmed that Kirk Cornish turned himself in. North Abaco Member of Parliament Kirk Cornish was taken into custody yesterday. Police confirmed. Police said in a short statement to the media that Cornish, 48, of Cooperstown, Abaco, turned himself in to the police in Grand Bahama, accompanied by his lawyer, around 5:25 p.m. Police investigations were continuing and did not reveal the specific nature of their investigations. Last night, police nor the individual who was identified to Nassau Guardian as the MP's lawyer answered any questions on the matter of his arrest, which unsurprisingly has attracted great public interest. It was not clear up to midnight whether Cornish had been questioned or released or whether he was being held overnight. It is not unusual for police to arrest someone for questioning and release the individual pending further investigation. When approached by reporters outside the House of Assembly on April 19th, Cornish said he had absolutely no comment regarding any allegations that were being made against him. You can read more about that in today's Nassau Guardian. I suspect that we will be talking about that today. Government to bring a parole bill. The government hopes to put out a consultation for a parole bill that will have the effect of holding convicts accountable for the entirety of their court. According to Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe, when you go to prison now, you get 4 months off for good behavior. So if you were sentenced for 12 months, you only serve 8 months. And when you come out, on day one, you can commit an offense and you never serve the 4 months that you were given off. We intend to change that. We intend to make it clear that you will serve your sentence. Some in the correctional institution some in the community, but you will be held accountable for your actions completely. And Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin said yesterday that the time has come to have a very serious discussion on corporal punishment in schools. Hannah Martin was responding to questions about a recent incident where a police officer was called to a primary school in Bimini to discipline a group of boys. One parent claimed her son was beaten so badly that his bruises were black and blue. The Ministry of Education said an investigation in the incident was pardon me. The principal of the school was also placed on leave. Hannah Martin said, certainly there was an incident that caused us concern and moved us to move immediately to address the status quo at that school. And in overseas, China flies 38 warplanes near Taiwan and 6 Navy vessels at sea. This according to the Taiwanese defense minister on Friday. This is one of the biggest such flight displays since the large military exercise which it had simulated sealing off the island earlier in April. Naval vessels were also seen in the area as part of China's long-running campaign of intimidation against Taiwan. Later Friday, China's People's Liberation Army issued a protest over the flight of a United 8A Poseidon anti-submarine patrol aircraft through the Taiwan Strait, which separates mainland China from the self-governing island democracy claimed by Beijing. Calling Thursday's flight a provocation that the U.S. openly hyped up, the PLA's Eastern Theater Command said it scrambled fighter jet to monitor the plane's flight. Such acts fully prove that the U.S. is a disruptor of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait and a creator of security risks, the statement said. Theater troops maintain a high level of alert at all times and resolutely defend national sovereignty and security as well as regional peace and stability. The U.S. 7th Fleet said that Thursday's flight was in accordance to international law and demonstrates the United States' commitment to free and open Indo-Pacific. And foreign companies in China face growing scrutiny and pressure from anti-corruption, security, and other investigations as President's government tightens control over businesses, clashing with efforts to lure back investors after the pandemic. This week, Bean & Co. said police questioned staff at its Shanghai office. The consulting company gave no details of what the investigators were looking for. Last month, the corporate due diligence firm Mintz Group said that its Beijing's office was raided by police who detained 5 employees. Also last month, an employee of a Japanese drug maker was detained on spying charges, and the government announced a security review of a memory chip by Micron Inc. The ruling Communist Party is trying to reignite investor interest in China despite increased political control over the economy. Business groups have said that global companies are shifting investment plans to Southeast Asia, India, and other economies. And the Queen's coronation is being recalled as the UK prepares to crown her son. In 1953, London was still recovering from World War II. The city was marked with bomb damage, food supplies were tight, and life was dull for children who hadn't eaten anything as exotic as a banana. But the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II helped to lift the gloom over the country. With Elizabeth's son, King Charles III, set to be crowned May 6, people are recalling his mother's coronation 70 years ago, which was the last time the British witnessed the ritual. The whole of London was a sort of cauldron of people rushing to the area to look at what was happening, said James Wilkinson, who was then an 11-year-old member of the Westminster Abbey Choir and sang during the ceremony. And Bahamian boxing legend passes away at age 58. One of the Bahamas' greatest boxing legends ever, a sports icon, inside and outside the ring, has passed away. Ray Minus Jr. had a boxing career that would make most sportsmen marvel in awe at his list of accomplishments. Minus died at 9:25 a.m. at Princess Margaret Hospital on Thursday, succumbing to a rare and incurable neurological disease. I'm going to say ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, which is named after the American professional baseball player who played 17 seasons in the Major League Baseball and was diagnosed with the same disease in 1939 before passing away in 1941. ALS, nervous system disease that affects the nerve cells in the brain and the spinal cord, causing loss of muscle control. Minus was officially diagnosed with ALS in October 2022. And you can read more by Sheldon Longley about the life of Ray Minus Jr., his accomplishments, and his fight with ALS in today's Nassau Guardian. And that's sports, and that's the overnight. Time now for your first look at weather, brought to you by Scotia Digital Saturdays. Here we go. And the weather. General situation, a high pressure continues to build over the islands. However, a surface trough near the extreme northwest Bahamas will support showers and thunderstorms across the area through tonight. Special warnings. Boaters should remain vigilant due to the threat of water spout and or funnel activity. All areas, weather partly cloudy and hot, with isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming cloudy and warm with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Tonight in the extreme northwest Bahamas, sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm with a chance of showers tonight over the remainder of the islands. Gusty winds and higher seas can be expected in showers and thunderstorms, of course. The winds southeast to south, shifting south to southwest later today at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest and central Bahamas. Eastern to 15 knots, falling to 10 or less in the southeast Bahamas. Seas should be 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And we'll have a high temperature of 88 degrees Fahrenheit or 31 degrees Celsius, and a low temperature tonight of 73 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius if you like to use the other measuring thing. Sunrise is at 6:36 a.m., so you missed it. Sunset is at 7:38 p.m. Moonrise is at 1:29 p.m. I don't think people celebrate that enough. And moonset is at 3:08 a.m. on Saturday. That's your first look at weather, brought to you by Scotia Digital Saturdays. Do you need help using Scotia Online? Then Scotia mobile app. The Scotia mobile app or the ATM? Well, Scotia Digital Saturdays is here to help. For 4 Saturdays during the month of April, Scotiabank will open select branches between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. to give additional support for those requiring help navigating the various digital platforms and provide tips on banking safely. Digital Saturdays, visit bs.scotiabank.com for branches and dates. We'll have your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up in just a bit. When we come back, we're going to discuss some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on 96.9 FM. Home of fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
RPC will soon be celebrating 115 years in the Caribbean,
inspiring us to continue to look forward for better ways to support you.
So we're making changes.
Continue to listen to your needs. We want to be clear
That we will continue to strive for better.
To look forward to you being our customers, community, partners, and employees.
Working together as our parents and even our grandparents did.
A chain of islands with a common horizon.
RBC, committed and invested in the region now and into the future.
You could win your share of $1,000 and free annual memberships when you apply for your Mobile Assist Visa Travel Rewards Card. It's a prepaid visa that gives you access to travel and online shopping deals worldwide every single day. Enter automatically when you successfully apply through our Mobile Assist app. Use your prepaid visa 5 times or more, and you are automatically entered to win your share of $1,000. See our social media pages for more details. Apply, save, and win with Mobile Assist.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey. For every infusion, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
And welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices, and on your televisions on cable channel 969 or BTC Flow channel 612. Which I always wondered, like, what's the equation? Guardian Radio is all over social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Stephen Hanna. Joining me now, I want to say Nicholas Hall.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, he will be in the passenger seat for this ride. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 96.9 or follow the hashtag Morning Blend. And be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com, Morning Blend 96.9. Leave your comment and read what others are saying about the topics of the show. Or you can email us at morningblend@nascar.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. That's the Guardian Radio text line. Coming up this morning, more weather and traffic. And we are going to cover a myriad today. But first, let's talk about what's in the news. So, Nick, last night I was like, I hope nobody gets murdered because I didn't want to talk about murder.
You know, put a cloud over the day.
I didn't want to put a cloud over the day. You know, I prefer like a murder-free weekend. But the top story is it's not murder. It's an MP in custody, and I am hesitant to discuss this because I feel like we have a. So once again, let me give a summary. Let me do this the way Dwight, because he's probably having a conniption somewhere right now. At some point, he's going to call and tell Kermit to unplug my mic. North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish was taken into custody yesterday. Police have said in a statement to the media that Cornish, 48, of Cooperstown, Abaco, turned himself in to police in Grand Bahama, accompanied by his lawyer, around 5:25 p.m. That's a very late time. Police said only that the investigations were continuing and did not reveal the specific nature of their investigations. So, I honestly don't know what can be said about this case, because it's one of those open secret situations where it's like everybody knows what this is about, but nobody is saying what it's about. It's like we're gonna pretend this is ambiguous, but then also the problem is you've heard talk radio before.
Yeah,
There are two sets of people. There are people who make everything political, and then there are people who are like, no, let's focus on the topic. And then on the other hand, there are people who clearly don't have an issue with rape and will probably call in to defend rape, to have any discussion with that. So let's talk about parole. The government is bringing in a parole bill. According to the Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, at the Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing yesterday, when you go to prison now, you get 4 months off for good behavior. So if you're sentenced to 12 months, you serve 8. And when you come out on day 1, you can commit an offense and you never serve the 4 months that you were given off. We intend to change that. We intend to make it clear that you will serve your sentence, some in the correctional institution and some in the community, but you will be held accountable for your actions completely. Monroe again expressed concern over the pattern, he says, exists where young men enter prison at a young age for minor crimes, but are recruited by gang leaders who offer protection and support while behind bars. While leading a major gang as a young man, they went to prison for something very simple and were recruited. The OC of the anti-gang unit, in a video that went viral, explained how it happened. I go to prison, I'm a young man, everyone has these excited thoughts that I'm going to be raped in prison. A young man grows up with the thoughts that I'm going to be raped. Prison conditions are bad. So a drug lord, a gang leader, gets them and says, I'm going to make sure that nobody fools with you. I'm going to make sure that you get water, money on your commissary, and some dope when I smuggle it into prison. The young man coming out in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and when he comes out, he wasn't riding any gang. When he went in, when he comes out, he may most likely be riding a gang. Monroe said the Parole Act would facilitate alternative sentences to keep some offenders out of jail. For persons who need punishment but may not need incarceration, technology permits us to impose a sentence where you get to go to work and to church and the food store once, and other than that, you stay at home and serve a sentence in the community. I don't want to be judgmental. It's like you get to go to work and to church. Like, I mean, it'd be great if that's where they were going.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is where they were going, but okay. And also that I feel like that's what people either assumed was happening or should have been happening, where it's like, what is the point of the ankle bracelets?
Well, I mean, if you're being honest, right? I mean, regardless of what you have on, the nature of your crime kind of dictates what happens once you get out of jail, right? I mean, unfortunately, these guys who get themselves in situations where they commit murders and, coming out on bail, you have your ankle bracelet on, and where we might not do a great job of monitoring you with your ankle bracelet, somebody else is monitoring you, and you should have subsequently ends in
another murder.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, and because I'm looking at them saying that you would being home. Do we not understand? I mean, or maybe I don't understand how the system works now, are you not restricted in your movements now when they give you an ankle bracelet?
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, so like what? Okay. Anyway, we have a call on the line. Hello, caller. You're number one.
Hello.
Hey, you're on.
Morning, Stephen. I don't know what's going on with your board or your mix-up, but you sound very, very, very far in the distance. But good morning to you and your guest.
Good morning. How you doing? Is that better?
You know, it really saddens me when I listen to the minister talking about this parole foolishness. We trying to keep these young men off the street, especially in light of what's going on now with giving them bail. You might as well say, oh, that's basically the same thing. We trying to keep them behind bars or keep them from this life what they in. And the best he could do in the last several days, we had maybe 11 murders in 11. And they're talking parole, trying to give these criminals or alleged criminals more time off on the street. It saddens me because who can remember the name of the last victim's family members? I bet none of us could remember that.
No.
I bet the minister can't even remember that. Who's going to parole that family with their loved one laying down inside that grave? Who's going to parole them? Huh? It seems like these laws always designed to protect and save it the criminal. You understand? When last the minister been around to the last victim family and see if the children okay, or social services doing for those children what they supposed to do? We always get our things backwards, man. And it saddened me. Where does he live? He live on Mars? Thanks for taking my call.
Well, I mean, okay. So, in fairness to the minister, I think he's trying to address an existing issue within the law because he's saying that right now, if you are, because I suspect because prisons are overcrowded, they're like, hey, you go, your sentence is a year. While you're in jail, you wasn't fighting. They ain't catch you with no drugs. They ain't catch you with no weapons or whatever. So they're like, all right, for good behavior, instead of you serving the full year, we let you serve 8 months.
Right.
And so you go to jail in January, you out by August instead of Christmas.
Right.
But now if you go outside and do the exact same crime that got you into jail, instead of you finishing off the 4 months that you got for good behavior, they just start the thing all over again.
Right.
And so he's saying, because people are like, well, it ain't a year in jail, ain't really a year, people perhaps aren't taking it seriously, and it's not, the deterrent isn't as effective as it could be.
Yeah. I mean, I get where the call is coming from as well, right? But in this instance, I think it's almost like him stating that we need to resolve the issue of when someone commits an offense, what the process going forward is.
Straight to the end.
Yeah, it feels like it's more, and that's it. And, I mean, majority of the guys who go into jail now, when they come out, they commit the exact same crime. If they're allowed to see that next said crime, depending on what they've done. But I've always, in many circles have spoken in regards to, what happens to someone who goes to prison? How do we reform these people? How do we get them to change the way they think, right? I mean, when you go to, I don't know if you've ever seen the conditions in the prison system, but it is, I went in grade 11, which was almost 20 years ago. And
never again.
And I saw what it like as in school is like a scared straight thing, even though we did nothing wrong. We'll put that out there. But it was, it was eye-opening for me, and I still remember that to this day. So I couldn't imagine going in there without knowing any of that and just experiencing that. So I can see why someone would say, I need to get protection in there, because it literally feels like a place that you need protection.
All right, so we're going to circle back to that. We have another caller on the line. Caller, you are on the air.
Good morning.
Morning,
Good morning, guest and your guest.
Morning.
Yes, sir. I don't know if Minister National Security said that, and we said before, it was a couple of months ago, and since they'll be taking government back. He said that, but it's ever worse. You go to jail for 1 year, you spend 8 months over that year, 4 months off every year. So if you go to jail for 5 years, well, you spend 40 months, all right? So what I'm saying, I didn't even say that in this statement, that, but he was just talking about if you, good behavior, you spend 8 months. But now, that was ever the case. That was ever the case. Years and years and years ago. That's nothing new, you see? But what I think you said a couple of months ago is that if you come out and you commit another crime, you'll go back and serve that 4 months 4 months for every year that you were sentenced to by the court, by the judge. I don't know if he said that in this statement.
Well, I mean, it seems to be like he's suggesting that you will, at the very least, serve the time that you got off. You're gonna serve that as well.
Yes, that's the same thing he said in the first statement. I think it was a week or I know it was since he sent PLB take the government back. So what I'm saying, that caller, he's a frequent caller. I don't think he get the full sense of what Mr. Monroe was saying.
Right. I think the word parole made it sound like that he was saying something soft on crime when he was actually asking for.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Chester, that was ever in place.
Mm-hmm.
You whatever time you get, you serve.
Oh,
8 months out every year.
You're suggesting that's already something that's there.
Yes, that was in place a long time.
All right. Well, I will.
And he said in this statement before, I'm saying since they take the government, that you will, if you come out and you commit a crime, you'll go back and you'll serve the 4 months for every year that you didn't serve, that you was given off. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that was in place for you to be given. You understand?
I understand what you're saying. Thank you, caller. I will have to admit my ignorance to the matter, but I will look into it.
Yeah, but then it's on the book. You could call up to the prison. You could call up to the prison and the what you call the intake section, and when it's be by the court. Right, I'm a retired officer, 35 years, so I know the system up there.
Okay.
Yes, and I worked 11 and a half of my 35 years in the court.
All right. Awesome.
Constable, corporal, sergeant.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay. Thank you for your service.
Right.
All right. Thank you for your call. And we have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, morning. How you doing?
Listen, morning again.
Morning.
Listen, to that last caller under you all, I understand exactly what Mr. Monroe is saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand the linguistic ability these fellas have. For more than 50 years, we've been hearing that same foolishness, and I know when the fellas them go to jail, to prison, that they get time off. This is what I'm speaking against.
Right.
We don't need to be giving them no time off because Wayne Monroe, this thing, a Minister of National Security, is the very one last week or this week on your radio station that says he is trying to present something there to stop these fellas from getting bail.
So
you understand? See, I know exactly what I am saying.
So yes,
in other words, what they doing is they come into the public and they telling us the same old beast stuff what they always tell us just to appease the general public. And they know they're not serious. I know exactly what he is saying, and I know exactly what he means when he say he's trying to get them to stop giving bail. So how duplicitous is that statement? I'll hang up and listen to your response.
All right, thank you, caller. Let's go to the tax line where it's safe. Suddenly feels like we need a large supermax prison in Andros. Use telecourt services for trials and keep the hardcore long-term criminals there, which may sound like a great thing, except if you live in Andros. Then you're like, why y'all sending them here? You know.
Well, true to say, the prison that's there now is overpopulated.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Do I think the answer is building more prisons? I don't think that's the case. I think a lot more needs to be done to just slow down the amount of people that are just being put in prison, right? I mean, it's like taking something and just putting it away just because you don't want to see it anymore. But these guys come back out, right? And where the street vigilantism that happens and these guys are no longer with us, or they just go right back into a life of crime. You know, the reform of people coming in and out of prison is just not there. Or if it's there, it's clearly not enough to adjust what we're experiencing right now.
Well, I mean, just generally speaking, prison system in the Bahamas is failing. Wow, I can hear myself. I sound very anyway. But it is failing us because, bro, what is the point of it? Like, okay, if prison is supposed to reform persons, as you've said, we're not reforming anybody. All right, people aren't. If I'm going to be in prison for 5 years, I should come out with a bachelor's degree. That shouldn't be an option. That should be mandatory. That's a part of your sentencing, all right? Especially if you're up for like a minimal crime or whatever, right? Where we want you to be reintegrated back into society. These people who are going to prison at the age of 18, 19, and 20, right? That's still around the same age that you would graduate high school anyway.
Right.
It shouldn't be, well, you have the option to go to take these classes. No. That needs to be a thing that happens automatically, right? If we're talking about reform, because otherwise, what are you coming out of prison to do?
Yeah.
The only thing that you learned in prison would have been when sitting inside this room with other persons to learn, or nobody, the best way to break in is this. Or, them locks don't work like that. Or you got to make sure the camera, that's how they escape. You understand what I'm saying? Like, So now suddenly, like, they become better criminals. All right?
Right.
And they've been recruited by these criminal organizations, as opposed to it being, when you came out, you went in bad, you're supposed to come out better.
Right.
And I know for a lot of people, they don't like that idea because then they had to, like, prison is supposed to be punishment, not a reward. Why are these people getting food and, education? But if prison is also a punishment, well, for some people, and this is going to upset somebody. Prison is better than the house that they live in, right? Because people are like, oh, you want to be in a cell made for 2 people with 9 people in it? Some people in a house made for 2 people with 11 people in it.
Yep.
And it's like, you're going to be getting row out less in prison than you get row out when you home. You can show more respect in prison than when you home. And then food coming on time. And is it a perfect situation? Of course not.
No, it's not.
But it probably have running water.
Yeah.
And a lot of persons live inside New Providence without running water. So it's like, if the punishment isn't better than the baseline that I live in, isn't worse than that, then it's not really punishment.
Right.
You can't say, oh, Stephen, I can punish you by paying you $100,000. Oh, no, please don't. And I'm not suggesting that the prison conditions need to be made worse. I'm saying that if prison is a punishment, make my home condition so good that when I lose it, I could feel it. Like, I don't want to be away from my house for 8 months. I don't want to be away from my family for 8 months. I don't want to be away from my friends and all that stuff for 8 months because that is inconceivable. You know? Okay, let's take this call right quick. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Strachan, a voice along with you and your guest,
Nicholas.
Stephen.
Hey, what's up?
Nice to hear you hosting your show again.
Thank you.
But what I'm going to say, we need justice, law, and order in this country. And those people who are making the law, most of them got a good job in. Here it is. Monroe said that he mentioned the contrabands, right, the drugs and stuff in prison. Right. If you responsible or whosoever responsible for running the prison, how Monroe could make that kind of a statement when those sort of stuff's not business in there? It shows that whosoever responsible for running the prison are negligent.
They're failing on some level.
Okay? That means the lords running the prison. Those guys got to cut out talking foolishness and behaving people's head. My other point is, right? You made 4. What's the word I want to use? You speak about the rape thing, right?
Right. You mean the accusation? Oh, I think we lost them. All right, let's take the other caller. Hello? Caller, you on the air? Okay. All right, we lost that one. Gonna check the text line. One person has It's not Andros, it's Andros.
Okay.
It's very, very important to note.
Yeah. Especially if you're from Andros.
Well, if you're from Andros, you say Andros. The first caller who called. Oh, okay. I don't want to start a firestorm between callers and texters, so I won't read that one. All right. And this is a follow-up. The present prison is overpopulated. The common sense thing to do is to build a prison big enough to hold and properly rehabilitate the persons in the system presently and for the future. Yes. Also, you can do two things at once. You can build a prison so that it can house all the persons, but also we could figure out a way that I want the prison to be almost vacant. I want it to be, if not halfway empty, whatever size the prison is, because we don't want the prison full to capacity. We want persons still not going in there. And then if they do go in there, they come out better than they went in. All right? Yeah. But I mean, two things are possible. So I'm not going to say that we don't need to have a larger prison. We do, and I think that they're in the process of attempting to do that. But also, we also need to get people to not go to prison.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. If we could put some things in place to curb a lot of the... I mean, a lot of these crimes, especially right now, are all related to retaliation of some sort, right? But conflict resolution is like just the way I feel like this problem should be solved is that you don't exist no more. And then... I
mean, that is a solution.
Yeah,
is it the best solution?
So now it constitutes the way you see in the news every day. Someone's being killed, and it's like it's not even the same. It's not the same area. It's not the same street. It's like literally pointing up all over the island, right? And I think part of that issue too is how small this island is. Like, someone comes out of prison, like guaranteed within 5 minutes of coming out of prison, someone who knows you or knows of you knows that you're out of prison and where exactly you are.
And it just from there it kaleidoscopes.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's take this call before we go to the break. Hello, caller, you're on the air.
Morning.
Morning, how you doing?
Really well. No, I noticed we speak. I heard you having a discussion with building more prisons.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need build a lot of more things, especially more hospitals, even ahead of the prisons.
We need more. We need more hospitals, more schools. We need public transportation.
Correct. No, I heard something seemingly contradictory. That is, prison not being punishment, and therefore you should come out with a bachelor's degree if you spend a certain amount of time.
Well, that's Stephen. That's me. That's me saying that. Yeah.
But at the same time, and then at the same time, you mentioned that some homes, which is in reality, have situation worse than in quotation mark than in the prison.
Right.
And therefore, saying that prison it should be punishment or not punishment. So some balance need to be struck there. But
my thought is, what is it that we want the prison to do?
Right.
So it's like, so there are persons out there who feel as though prison should be just punishment, right? And I'm saying in that regard, we are not actually, that's not necessarily what's happening. Prison isn't the punishment that we think it is. And on the other hand, some persons feel like, oh, it's actually rehabilitation. Well, it's definitely not that. So it's like, is it rehabilitation? If it's rehabilitation, then it should be clear when a person comes from prison that they are in a better state than they went in. If it is punishment, then it cannot be the same, basically the same or slightly better than the home situation they come from. And so that my whole point is like, in either regard, like Nick said, we're just putting persons away out of sight and not having to think about it. Like, we're not actually addressing what we don't have. It doesn't feel like a real plan. The plan is just like, okay, you did something. I didn't like what you did. Go over here in this corner. In 8 years, we'll figure it out.
And last but not least, I think most of us in the planning stage, or in the people who, some, not yourself, but some people in the radio business, the talk show business, they don't even know where Malcolm Road and East Street is. I sent a text earlier this week, and one of the persons couldn't pinpoint that location.
Wow.
So, but that's where we have people have their businesses and the church and the this and the that.
Yeah, that's
and
Methodist church there.
And benefit from the areas, some seemingly depressed area, and that's the extent of it. Now that idea, let me go back to the idea about getting a bachelor's degree.
Right.
It's similar to, and this may be a seemingly in quotation mark offensive. Consider some of the pastors. They may not have been into prison, or perhaps they have been if they were in certain type of dealings, before they were saved, so to speak.
Right.
And then afterward they're saved. Now they're enjoying the fat of the land, so to speak. So I'm putting it out there, and so I'm saying that everyone, hopefully, will get a second chance. But if we do respect and avoid it, person getting there into prison, then we will have a different society.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
That's a good one.
You want to take this call? All right. Ooh, could you turn down that radio just a little bit?
Morning, Stephen.
Morning, how you doing?
I am great, man, and good morning to your guest.
Morning.
I want to ask you and maybe all the Bahamian people who are listening to your talk show this morning. What part are we playing when it comes to crime, besides the government, the church, the pastors, the guiding counselors or whoever? What part are we playing? And the reason I said that is simple fact, Stephen, is that you trying to tell me out of all of these things that happen in Nassau, Tom gets shot, Harry gets shot, Suzette gets shot, Mary gets shot. People don't know what's going on to lead up to that. See, we always talk about putting the people in prison and this and that. But let's start from the core of the problem. What is the problem? How did the problem escalate to that? What prompted that man to pick up a gun to kill a woman? What prompted the ex-man to pick up a gun to kill an ex-man? See, we all talk about punishment. But sometimes we could avoid punishment if we could be able to stop it before it happens. And that's too much in our country. We always talk about the after, when something after that happened. What about the prevention? Until we can deal with prevention, and some of these family members could come together and really say, you know what? You need to change your life or do something. I had a friend in Grand Bahama who was in some problems years ago, Stephen. And you know what the first parents did? They sent him away. He is married in Atlanta. I think he's an associate pastor. Last time I understood. And fellas, let me say this to y'all last but not least. Y'all know what y'all do to some people's family. Y'all don't expect to be riding around in Nassau and everybody happy and people's family is gone. It's retaliation, and Stephen, I look at it like this. Yeah, we have killing murders in our country, but I really don't care, because if you look at the stream of it, Stephen, these people who killing up one another are affiliated in some way or some form or some fashion. And to me personally, Stephen, in closing, I think they're making the police and the system work a little bit more easier. The only thing that those police have to do is investigate. But some of these fellas, they tell you straight up, my brother, we can ride or we can die. And when you see people with that type of mentality, what do you expect? Have a good one, Stephen.
All right.
Yeah, bro.
Well, part of it, I feel, has to be that we need to give persons another option. I was having this conversation yesterday at, oh, Lord, 1 second, trying to turn. I was having this conversation yesterday at the gym. I was at Empire Fitness, Sea Grapes Shopping Plaza on Prince Charles. My trainer is Joe Mar Farrington. But I was talking to Corey. Corey's another trainer. Anyway, and he's like, I don't know why these fellas, always trying to go to jail. And I was like, they don't like freedom. And I'm like, no. I mean, what is free? Ain't nothing out here for me. So what are you talking about, right? And he's like, Stephen, you ain't have nothing to lose. But I'm like, no, I have dreams. I have stuff that I want to do. But you would be surprised the amount of persons in this country that have not had the freedom to even imagine a better life for themselves. Mm-hmm. The freedom to somebody say, because we'll say it on the radio, oh, you could be anything. How? How can I be anything? And it's one thing for a person I've never met to scream it at me on the radio. It's a whole other thing for the person in the house with you to say, why you don't do this? Because you ain't gonna never be this, or why you don't go. And they're limited from very early on inside their life. Mm-hmm. You understand? So it's having the ability to dream that you could have a better life and that you could do better is something that a lot of us take for granted, but not everybody has that. I'm going to read a couple of these text messages before we go to the break. The adjective politicians are not serious about crime. They only need to place a call, do not go to, Singapore and find out the draconian measures they have adopted to implement punishments to meet crime. Monroe could start by removing the term concurrent from sentencing guidelines. If I commit 5 assaults and serve the time concurrently, what does that say about justice for the other 4 victims? The lawmakers are the problem, always were. It's a text. The public knows just how to fix the gun problem since the lawmakers. Okay, no, I gotta read that. Oh, they're saying that's how come we have street justice because everybody's living on Mars. That's probably the new guys, and see what happened after capital punishment. I am certain that you would go into the archives and it would reflect a reduction in the murder rate every other year. We're talking about the same thing. I don't want to hear anything about crime reduction and reform if there's no transformational fear of God's strategies. I don't know if and this is one of those times where I have to agree with Wayne Monroe. If you murder somebody, you are going to be murdered in the street. That is not even it's no longer, statistically speaking, it is not a matter of if. It will happen. You will be killed in the street. But that is not stopping anybody.
No.
So death is already on the table. It's not, the state isn't doing the killing, but somebody is going to kill you. Mm-hmm. So clearly the fear of death is not, that's not stopping anything. So we have, if beating somebody with a stick isn't stopping them from doing something, perhaps we need to try the other way.
Yeah.
I'm not, though, boy, I can't read that. Prison is punishment. It's not supposed to be. Here's a safe question. Have the police interviewed the MP accused of rape yet? They said they would before the end of the week. If you're aware that they have interviewed the MP, when did the interview take place? That's one of those questions that I'm not certain. Dwight didn't leave notes about how much I could say about the thing that everybody knows about. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, there'll be more news and weather and all the things that you love. I'm Stephen Hanna with Nicholas Hall.
Morning.
We'll be right back.
Crime doesn't pay. You lived in a small room that's crowded to the max. You can get what you want, boy, no matter how you act. Few people come to visit you, but only for a while. Then they forget about you like you're going out of style. Cause crime doesn't pay, boy. Crime doesn't pay. Don't throw your life away, boy. Crime doesn't pay. If being bad was good, boy, then why they lock away? Don't mind what your friends say, boy. Crime doesn't pay. No! Woo! Boy, you do the crime, you can do that time now. Don't worry about that. You can't be doing wrong, man. Do right. In the wrong, that's enough. Woo! Check this. When you you get a little older, you'll probably understand that rowing, cussing, fighting don't make you no real man. Somewhere along the road, boy, you'll have to go up fast. This life of crime and violence is never gonna last. Cause crime doesn't pay, boy. Crime doesn't pay. Don't throw your life away, boy.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Everybody's idea of home is different, so every mortgage should be unique, shaped around you, flexible to move and change as you do. RBC will come to you to get you started and stay by your side to help guide you every step of the way. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story and start your story today.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RBC Caribbean.
And in your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC, discovering mortgage ideas that shape around you. I'm tempted to be like, you already know the time, guys. You know how traffic is. But on Blue Hill Road, headed north, it's hot. If you were going Carmichael Road headed west, it's not that bad. But yeah, going out, it's a little bit of traffic there. It's very congested. Headed onto Blue Hill Road, headed north. And let's see how Prince Charles is looking. Prince Charles there are points of congestion around Elizabeth Estates, as well as going towards Beatrice Avenue. That is headed west on Beatrice Avenue. There's also some congestion on Soldier Road. Yes, Soldier Road, headed north. In various sections. So I would hopefully you left home in time and you have enough of what do you call that?
I don't know.
The thing, a buffer, enough of a buffer to get to work on time. And luckily you're listening here. So that's your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com, Caribbean/home story to start your mortgage story today. Now for your morning blend weather check. All right, so the weather, it is partly cloudy and hot with isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming cloudy and warm with scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight. In the extreme northwest Bahamas, sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm with a chance of showers tonight over the remainder of the islands. Gusty winds and higher seas can be expected in the showers and thunderstorms. The winds should be southeast to south, shifting south to southwest later today at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest, and central Bahamas east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling to 10 or less in the southeast Bahamas. Seas should be 2 to 4 feet over the ocean, and we should expect a high temperature of 88 degrees. It doesn't really sound that bad, it's still stay hydrated still, but low temperature tonight of 73 degrees Fahrenheit or 23 degrees Celsius. You missed the sunrise, but it's never too late for the sunset at 7:38 p.m. this this evening. Also, hey, look out for that moonrise at 1:29 p.m. If you are, on your lunch break, maybe you want to look up at the sky and just say, oh, that's interesting. That's your weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want to see it function. I can tell them no more joke. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. Vista Road, we want local government. Shed Road, we want local government. Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Shop BWF this spring during our mega spring clearance sale and tent sale. Friday, April the 28th and Saturday, April the 29th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Save, save, save. Up to 40% off. Appliances, barbecue grills and accessories, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, houseware and household supplies, comforter sets, towel gift sets, lawn and garden supplies, welding supplies, selected hardware supplies, toys, and a whole lot more. Don't miss it. BWF's mega spring clearance and tent sale. Friday, April the 28th and Saturday, April the 29th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. BWF. We're more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street. Call 394-0004-6. Check us out on Facebook.
My mommy made sure that I was vaccinated because she loves me.
Getting our precious little ones vaccinated protects them from so many diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Vaccines are safe and effective. Immunizations can prevent illnesses and even death. As we celebrate our 50th year of independence, let's move forward to protecting ourselves and each other from vaccine-preventable diseases, upward to achieving the highest vaccination rates in the region, and onward to a safer, healthier Bahamas. We can achieve this together. In New Providence, visit Ann's Town Clinic, Flamingo Gardens Clinic, Elizabeth Estate Clinic, or if you're in the Family Island Clinic, visit any of your routine vaccination clinics for vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are also available. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
At Doctors Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off labs, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Valpo Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Come on, y'all. Stevie S. Live. Watch it. Oi. Blood horn. One more time. Jail is hot. HMP is hot. Say what? When you look in your neighbor's cell, boy, they look so sad. Come on. Jail is hot. HMP is hot. Tell them, Stevie. If you never been to jail, boy, don't feel bad. Tell them one more time. The jail is hot. Come on. HMP is hot. You better listen. When you look in your neighbor's cell, boy, they look so sad. The jail is hot. Say, HMP is hot. That's it, that's it. If you never been to jail, boy, don't feel bad. Some sleeping on bunk beds, some on the ground. I can tell you lots of things I found. What that is? Mosquito for one.
You've had a mosquito. Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm Stephen Hanna, and with me is Nicholas, I went to say Sparks, Nicholas Hall.
Yes.
I've gotten several messages asking, who is this co-host? Why doesn't this co-host tell us who they are? What if I told you there is no co-host?
It's all Steven's mind.
Right. I'm just really good at throwing my voice. I do voices. You can hire me for weddings or funerals. I mean, it'd probably be really a lot of fun at a funeral. Why doesn't your co-host tell us about himself? Is he a PLP spy, a brave operative, a menace pawn? They want to know some details. And then somebody else just said that, they say, I'm playing cute this morning. My bad. I apologize. Anyway, I'm filling in for Dwight Strachan, who is off. Today is his birthday, by the way. And so, I think, how old is he, Kermit? 60. I know it's a sapphire jubilee, I believe. So if you guys want to leave or wish Dwight, happy octogenarian day. I don't know. You're free to do that as well. I'm going to read some of these texts before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Y'all don't think these criminals don't trust y'all? Some of them get rounded up and accused of things they haven't done. But Ernie and Bert is a subject of an investigation. What? You can't even call their name because, God forbid, Sesame Street get tainted. That one went very... Okay. The problem is education. The national average is a D, so where's the correlation between intelligence and conflict resolution? Fix the curriculum. So I'm going to ignore you because you said the national average is D. Every year we go over that. D does not mean what you think it means. Free ad for the gym. I go there also. Yes. If we strip emotions out of it and do the research, Behemoths will see that Andros is the best location for a supermax prison. It's close to overpopulated New Providence. You can build a city in Andros to stay in the prison, and it's our largest island, so a lot of room for isolation. I don't think that we need... I don't want to... No. I'm still going to disagree. You're right. I mean, maybe it's emotions, but I'm going to say no. And we don't need an island as big as Andros for a prison. Unless we, if the criminals get together and protest against the Prime Minister, they will definitely get locked up in jail with no bail. Anyway, we're going to come back to this after the news. Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Blood.
Live. One more time. All you bound don't cry. Come on. You can spend some time. Just stir the trouble, boy, and you'll be fine. You better just do the right thing, and you'll stay out. Trust me, boy, I know what I'm talking about. Come on, jail is high. Come on.
This
Get
is
champion.
Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com on the cable channel 96, Cable Bahamas channel 969 or BTC channel 612, as well as live on Facebook. Ooh, fancy. We're also available on the Twitter at Morning Blend 969 and the Facebook Morning Blend 969. Text us at 422-GR96. That's 422-GR4796. You know, the standard text rates apply. Now at 8:22 a.m., time now for your final look at weather. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. For troughing near the extreme northwest Bahamas is expected to continue to support showers and thunderstorms across the area through midday Saturday before dissipating, while a high pressure dominates across the remainder of the island. A frontal boundary is expected to move into the northwest Bahamas by late Sunday with moderate to strong breezes, showers, thunderstorms, and rough seas. The forecast for Saturday: weather cloudy and warm with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Partly sunny and hot with isolated showers and thunderstorms over the remainder of the islands. Winds south to southwesterly, 10 to 15 knots in the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast, 10 to 15 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas will be 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. The forecast for Sunday: weather partly cloudy, breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Sounds like a good time for some soup. South to southwest, shifting southwest to south to west at 15 to 25 knots with higher gusts in the northwest Bahamas, southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas will be 5 to 8 feet in the northwest Bahamas, 4 to 6 feet in the central southeast Bahamas. Seas will be higher in rough surf. And that is your extended weather forecast, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online. Or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's for you comes first for us. What comes first for you comes first for us. Time again for your Morning Blend traffic alert. Time now for the Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Discover mortgage ideas shaped around you. And so, for our Morning Blend traffic alert, Nick, you drive a car. Tell us what the roads are looking like out there.
Well, definitely heading northbound on Gladstone Road.
Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
It's a horrible idea at this point. There are a few shades of colors that usually dictate how much traffic. It is literally very dark red. So I'm going to assume that it's extremely congested. Definitely some Isla Butler Highway, also northbound. Very congested. The other typical areas, Bernard Road, heading west, completely congested.
Are there any routes that may not be completely congested?
If you are not going north.
if you're going south,
you're going south.
It's
you're
a good
okay.
time. So
Yes.
I mean, you might want to just pack up and go home, or thug it out. We're with you for another hour or so. So you're gonna make it.
You're in good company.
You're right. So that is your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story to start your mortgage story today. And this Friday and Saturday, April 28th and 29th, the Central Bank will be hosting a financial literacy fair and digital expo at Fusion Superplex on Gladstone Road. Learn more about investments, savings, insurance, digital payment solutions, and more. Up to $50,000 in Sand Dollar will be given away. You can use your Sand Dollar anywhere. Sand Dollar is accepted because Sand Dollar is real money. I don't know if you know this.
It's backed.
It doesn't crumble like an actual Sand Dollar does. It's real money, and this includes some of the places you can use it. The Red Cross Fair that is being held this Saturday and Sunday at Arawak Key, and the first 600 Sand Dollar wallet holders at the fair will receive 50% off the adult admission as well as free admission for children. So that's something that you definitely want to look out for. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to finish our discussion on everything. This is Stephen Hanna. You're listening to Morning Blend. We'll be right back. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, we're not taking a break. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about that. We'll get that in post. All right, so, hey, Nick, we were talking about crime.
Right.
The
matter around parole.
Right. And one person said, how can Stephen and Nick be on the radio without a handler who authorized this nonsense? I hear this everywhere. If criminals do not fear death, I don't know how they can be stopped. And so once again, my suggestion is that perhaps the way you stop it isn't by saying, hey, we're going to murder you, but think about how great life could be. You gotta show people something better.
Yeah, they have to believe, right? People have to believe that there's something different. Majority of the people that are in these scenarios don't have any proof that life can get better for them specifically.
Right. Yeah. So and I don't want to burst into song, but there's got to be something better than this. The status quo is not good enough for let's just be honest, for most of us. Everybody should want to achieve better, but if you don't believe that better is achievable, or the only way that you see to become better is I get teeth this person bumper, then that's what you're gonna do.
That bumper situation is crazy, by the way.
That's why I ain't fixed my bumper yet. I just
and
leave it mess up.
It's crazy.
Nobody get teeth mine. They look at my car and they say, "Oh,
and they put parts on your car."
They come to me and say they can leave their car. If you're looking for one, I know where to get one. Stream from. We have not had capital punishment since the early 90s. What are the statistics? Then come back with that unsupported opinion. Wake up, the government is not serious with crime. Well, we've not had capital punishment since the late 90s. That's the last time somebody was hung. And the statistics wouldn't be local statistics. It's just, around the world, generally speaking. But also, we know this isn't a matter of anecdotal evidence. People, almost we have a ton of people who are being killed. And the police say, this person is known to police. They were out on bail.
Yep.
What were they out on bail for? Murder. They're suspected of murdering 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And so this happens so often that we get to the point sometimes we don't even report it unless if it's a child that gets killed or a woman that gets killed, yeah. But if it's a dude that gets killed, we just assume, you see how they're coming. Nobody checks anymore because that's so normal. And you're telling me that people are going out there and killing and saying, yeah, I'm going to get away with it. well, then they're delusional. Because clearly no one is getting away with murder anymore.
No.
Happy birthday to Dwight. Since I've already called, I'm texting. Greetings. Good morning, Mr. Hanna. Can you kindly give your thoughts on a National Youth Service? I did before. Yes, to some extent. I feel it depends on it. In theory, I agree with it. I don't agree with it like how South Korea and Israel have it, where it's like everybody needs to serve 2 years in the military.
Yeah.
Because, there are many institutions that need to be rehabilitated. That's the whole sentence that I'm willing to say at this time.
That's it.
I don't want to be the one to hurt anybody's feelings this early in the morning. Maybe at 9 o'clock. Hello. How helpful did you find the town hall meeting on education last night? It seemed many on stage were trying to state and justify the effort rather than give an understanding of testing results. I mean, I didn't even know it happened. I will be honest with you. I will admit my feelings in that regard and give me a week when I think about that. All right. Who does Boy Brigade? I want to enroll my son. Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. But I feel like if you go online and you type in Boys Brigade Bahamas, you could find a chapter close to you. Mm-hmm. Great show as usual. How come only the Negroes are committing crimes? Boy, I tell you. Which one is worth the court of law or the court of public opinion?
Okay, well, I mean, the general shade of the Bahamas is
85%.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
black.
heavily.
So that's just a statistical thing. Like if we were 85% white, then there'd be more white people getting arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Chester, what do you do to a dog or any animal? Kill someone, put it down. You don't pat it on the back of the head and say good job, because you're probably going to do it again. Most of these people were criminal minded before they went to prison. Prime Minister talking about hiring gang members. He already did that, and then they name a government institution where they think they don't. Well, so here's the thing, right? Human beings aren't dogs. So that's the first issue. If you think that your fellow human beings are dogs, then yes, you would arrive to the same conclusion that you're coming to, but
technically, I kind of understand what they're saying. I'm not saying it's correct.
No, I get what they're saying.
I get it. Part of the problem with that is, the human factor is huge, right?
Oh, yes.
You could look at someone and see them as a murderer, and the other person can see them as a loving father to their child, right? It's a really key point to keep in mind, right?
Also, the failing of the justice system is something to keep in mind, because, listen, if you've never been pulled over by an angry police officer who's clearly upset because they're 5'4" and this is the only job they could get because the only thing they ever did in life was not get arrested before this moment.
This is highly specific.
If such a person pulls you over and they're like, why you just pulled over? You could get arrested for nothing. Mm-hmm. You could be held for nothing and then released with no explanation.
Yeah.
All right? You get arrested for asking a police officer, I don't understand what you're saying. What are you saying? Oh, you're being rude. Blah, 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 blah. You
get locked up.
Right. So anything is possible. Now, do you really want to place it in the hands of that? To say, as soon as you get arrested for, well, you was around here, so we assume you was the one who did the murder, we automatically kill you, half the country be dead.
Yeah. Now, granted, that's, this is not the everyday case, but it is the truth is you could be wrongfully accused.
Yeah.
And,
of any crime.
And majority of these times, it's when it hits home, aka your cousin or your brother is the one who committed the crime, or your sister is the one who committed the crime.
Or accused of committing a crime.
Yeah. Everyone's tone changes. Now, whether or not you want to say, okay, everyone's tone should be, if you do bad, you've done bad. Technically, you're correct, but then at the same time, it's still a human factor. You're still going to feel some type of way. You're still going to say there has to be a way for these persons to get themselves together. You might have noticed, you might have grown up with this kid, and he did something wrong. You're like, boy, dude, I'm no man. I know him to be a better person than that. And then you realize you're starting to almost accept that you see somebody who you don't know that committed the same crime. You'll probably be the first thing out your mouth is, he need to be hanged, or he need to be killed.
But see all that. If we're not looking at this thing holistically, I think that's the correct word.
Maybe.
Then we are going to end up inside this type of situation where it's like, bro, what is the point? What are we attempting to do here, right? Because I will tell you the one instance that I agree with capital punishment. If we have decided that this person we know for sure this person killed this person, right? We see it on camera, the person admit it, they don't care. Okay, you say this is a heinous crime, we're putting them in jail for 60 years. Why? And I say why to take the dog, for example.
Right.
If I were to, and I've used this example before, if I took a dog, put it in my closet, and I fed it, but I locked it up in my closet for 3 months, the Humane Society would press charges against me if they found that out. And I would go to jail in a closet-sized room. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Now, if I cannot lock away a dog in a closet for that length of time, because it is inhumane, how can I lock away a human being for 60 years, for 30 years, for 20 years in the same conditions or worse?
Worse, yeah.
That must be inhumane. And so in that circumstance, if we've already decided we're not rehabilitating this person, we do not want this person to re-enter society, then cheaper you kill them. Yeah, and so in that regard, then sure, if that is the route you want to go. But if we look at this holistically, we see that our birth rate is declining, our murder rate is increasing. We're running out of people, even though we feel like Nassau is congested. It's just because this is where all the jobs are, and they put all of us poor people on the eastern side of the island. So sure, we're all, it feels congested, but the country is actually not growing in the way that we wanted to grow or needed to grow for us to be a productive country. If we just start killing everybody and putting everybody inside prison, we're not going to have the manpower to grow as a country. Are we going to rehabilitate these persons? The persons who are going to be out, what are we saying when they come back into society? Because they're going to come back out. It cannot just solely be out of anger and punishment, say, oh, we want to do, this is what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? So in that regard, looking at it fully, the whole picture.
Yeah.
You know? All right, we have a caller on the line? Caller, you on the air?
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah, I sort of agreeing with you in regards to capital punishment. Now, basically, this is Sparky. What I've been told is to maintain a person on death row or a prisoner in jail, it costs us about $19,000 per prisoner. That's what I heard the figure is.
That's more than what a lot of people get paid per year.
An honest person out here working from 9 to 5. The average Bahamian, I wouldn't even say the average. That's must be middle class. Making about $20,000, maybe $15,000 a year, if that. You would tell me the man that killed my wife or my mother or my brother, we could bring him guilty. We could send him up to life, and then I also got to help take care of him for the rest of his life for $19,000, which is more than I out here, an honest church-going, law-abiding Christian Bahamian. That to me, that sounds ridiculous and stupid. And what is the waste of the waste? Do we have to kill a king, a prime minister, or a queen to be the waste of the waste? Do we have to kill a child? What is the waste of the waste? When these people come up with that the only way we can hang somebody is the waste of the waste. Why do we haven't defined us? What is the waste of the waste? Tell us what the waste of the waste is. Come to some conclusion. Go down Bay Street, make the law, and say, if you did the waste of the waste, you can get hanged. Friday night, with Bahama there underneath there, we can hang you on Malcolm Park underneath the almond tree.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to just a little bit. We'll be right back. This is Stephen Hanna with Nicholas Hall on Morning Blend.
I take one day at a time and I party every night.
It doesn't matter how days may come and go. It's all about the way you feel. I'm here to let you know that age doesn't but a number. So what if I ain't got no teeth? The reason why I move a little slower, I got corn on top of both my feet. But just like wine, all the time, champagne, my name, caviar, from afar, candy, brandy, marshmallow, jello, sugar time, all the time. Slower now. You know, I can't go too fast because I want it to last. Yes, indeed.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Everybody's idea of home is different, so every mortgage should be unique, shaped around you, flexible to move and change as you do. RBC will come to you to get you started and stay by your side step of the way. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story and start your story today.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RBC Caribbean.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Morning Blend, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm Stephen Hanna, here with Nick. And we, because we like to shake up a can of soda and then slow everything back down. Now that we've gotten your attention, we are here with Astra and Bristol from Bahamas Striping Group of Companies and Valentino Hamilton from Rotary Club of the Bahamas. Yes. All of them. Yes. Just to get the mic in front of you. So you're representing all of them.
All of them, yes.
All right. And so, guys, tell us, what good news are you here to share with us today?
Well, thank you for having us on your show.
Anytime, Miss Bristol.
Thank you so much. We're here to share the great news that on Thanksgiving Day, so November 23rd, we will be feeding a minimum of 10,000 Bahamians across the entire archipelago of our country. We've partnered with Hands for Hunger and the illustrious Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas to make sure that we achieve this ambitious goal. And we're so excited about it. We've been talking about it everywhere we go. And so we made our stop here today, and we're happy to share it with your audience.
November, as many of our listeners may note, is not April. I'm assuming there's a reason that you're telling us this far in advance. Is there some sort of participation that you want from the general public, or like what is it? Do you want us to start like bringing in our turkeys? What is it?
Yes, a good head start on letting people know what we're doing, and really, this is a corporate Bahamas push. So we want this initiative to be led by corporate Bahamas.
So other companies.
Absolutely. So we want the Bahamas to know.
To be good corporate citizens and to contribute, to give some of that money back.
Absolutely.
Out of their pockets.
Absolutely. Bahamas Striping Group of Companies has been I think, a phenomenal corporate partner from our inception. Many people in the public will know us from our Back to School program. It's a very, very large program that we do. We partnered with Rotary Bahamas many years in the past. And so we want to continue to give back to Bahamians. And we want to spread the joy and the wealth and the knowledge of all of that.
Right, I was going to say, most people know you from the roads. But okay, sure, that works as well. All right, so Rotary Club of
the Bahamas.
I keep wanting to say Nassau.
No, Nassau is one of them.
Right. So what part are you guys playing inside this whole thing? Because I know if they're pushing for other companies to join them in the effort, and hopefully the other companies won't disappoint them. The other companies will take up this mantle and do the right thing. What do you guys do? Are you guys reaching out to other civic organizations, or what exactly?
Yeah, so Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas is comprised of 10 clubs all throughout New Providence and some of our family islands. So we have clubs in Abaco, we have clubs in Eleuthera, Cat Island, there are also clubs in Grand Bahama. Community service is not new to Rotary. Feeding initiatives is not new to Rotary. We're trusted, reliable. We have our network, our resources, people who've become accustomed to working with Rotary and seeing the work that we've done. And so we're hoping to tap into our networks on this project, which just ties into our first strategic priority of Rotary, which is to expand or increase our impact. So whereas we may have, did a feeding project here, a feeding project there, we're increasing our impact and doing it on a big scale.
On a national scale.
Yeah, on a national scale. And I should say that not only do we bring in our resources here, Rotary is a global network of 1.4 million people across the world, 46,000 clubs. So we have the ability to leverage resources even outside of country to make this feeding initiative a success. So we bring our expertise in doing these sort of projects, our trusted and reliable brand, which will hopefully appeal to the public and other corporate individuals. And of course, we like working with Bahamas Striping. We're not new to this partnership, and we believe this is a wonderful initiative.
All right. So now the question is, if it's a national push, I'm assuming that the logistics of this must be massive. So what is well, first, before we get to that question of the logistics of how this will work, who are you targeting? Who are you trying to feed during this time? Is it going to be for persons who might be disenfranchised? Because I know you're dealing with Hands for Hunger.
Yeah.
Is it going to be that? Is it going to be students? Is it going to be children? Like who are we trying to help with this initiative?
So our target audience is those that are most in need. So the part of the reason why it was so important for us to partner with Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas and Hands for Hunger is because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. They have a great understanding of the communities that we want to service and who those people are in the communities that need it most. We'd love to feed everyone in the Bahamas, but what with those people that are food insecure? And that's one of the reasons why we're not going only to Nassau to do this program. We're going as far-flung as Inagua, Acklins, Crooked Island, San Salvador, to make sure that those people who are on the ground there and actually need the meals will get them on that day.
All right. So now, how? I know the Bahamas Striping, you guys probably have boats by now or something. You guys got to move the machinery between islands sometimes.
Absolutely.
How is this? What's the logistics going to look like? Are you guys going to be depending on volunteers? What's happening?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Volunteer is a part of it. And as Astra said, this is not new to Rotary. We've done it, and I have been doing it. And so we're going to leverage our resources to assist in providing the volunteers, and even from within Rotary, and even from outside of Rotary with our trusted partnership network.
And Rotary clubs have they have clubs set up on different islands in the Bahamas. So
Absolutely.
we're going to leverage those first, like Abaco, Eleuthera, Cat Island, Grand Bahama.
Absolutely.
And then where there are gaps, we are appealing to the general public. So if you have a church organization, if there's some civic organization that exists on an island that we don't have boots on the ground just yet, we're appealing to people. And that's part of the reason why we're here today, to give us a call. Reach out to Bahama Striping Group at our office. You can reach out to Rotary Clubs or Hands for Hunger and let us know that you want to be the organization on the ground to get this initiative going on that day.
Right. I was going to ask, what is it? What if you're a regular person? You say, I'm not a corporate fat cat. I'm not a regular everyday millionaire. How can I help? What is the average listener can do to help this initiative in preparation of it? We're a couple months out.
Yes.
But what is it that they can do now? And I guess as we get closer to the date.
Well, there are three main things that I want to admonish to the general public to do. First and foremost, go to our Facebook page. It's called Let's Make a Difference. Go to our Facebook page, like it, share it. The more people that know, the better response and support that we'll get, even from corporate Bahamas. I tell people all the time, you may not be able to do anything, but go to your boss and tell your boss about this amazing program to feed a minimum of 10,000 Bahamians. Maybe they, when they get our sponsorship letter, will be more inclined to support the project.
Right. And not just do one of those, you know what I don't like, when they're like, oh, charity. What we'll do is we'll ask our underpaid employees to bring a can of corn in and we'll donate that.
Right.
It's okay. Just touch some of that profits that you guys are making and help make the country better. The better the country, the better it is for all of us.
That's right. The other two things that people can do is we have a GoFundMe page, and we would like people to go to that GoFundMe page. And if it's $1 that you can afford, the support is what really matters. Right. So we're not looking for you to break your savings account for it, but if you can afford $5, go onto the GoFundMe page and support. Support makes a difference, and support is a verb. So you have to take some action to that. And the final thing that people can do is, again, just spread the word. Spread the word.
All right. So I know you said to contact you guys. Could you give us the numbers, or do they reach out to you at Bahama Striping, or is there like a contact for Rotaries and Clubs of the Bahamas?
We want people to reach out to somebody at Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas, then you do that. If you connected to Hands for Hunger, then you call in and you can volunteer there. You can also call our headquarters. The number is 394-7777. You can give us a call. If you're an individual and you can't help financially, but you do want to be one of those people that are assisting us on Feeding Day, you can call us and give me your name. My name is Astra in Bristol Road. You can ask for me once you call our office. At Bahama Striping. You can ask for me, and I'll put your name down on a list, and we'll find something for you to do that day. I guarantee you.
Oh, definitely. And I guess Rotary is always looking for volunteers to assist them in their various projects.
Absolutely. One of our main principles of Rotary is service above self. We're people of action, and so we're constantly looking for volunteers to help with our initiatives, and we're happy, again, that this initiative will provide an opportunity to not only touch Bahamians, but hopefully generate a spirit of volunteerism in the Bahamas during this 50th anniversary. I think that is one of the things that drove Bahama Striping to come up with this initiative on our 50th anniversary of independence. Let's make a difference. Also ties in with the theme of our incoming Rotary International president, which is to create hope in the world. So that's my challenge from Rotary. Let's make a difference, and let's create hope in the world, starting with the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so the final question that I have, I know it, once again, it is early. What are you guys serving Like, is it going to be? Because like sometimes it'd be stuffing or peas and rice. I personally would like to know. I also don't eat. Not that I'm going to be getting on these plates.
It sounds like you.
I just want to know what's in it.
Your thought process is around the plate.
I don't eat meat. I just want to eat fish. But what? So what is the? What's the vision for to make this day a special day for the persons that you guys are, the underserved or the food insecure in the Bahamas? What is the hope?
The hope is that the meal that they receive on Thanksgiving Day, when they open that plate, it's a full serving of a wonderful Thanksgiving meal. Turkey, cranberry sauce for those who like it, peas and rice, and lots of wonderful vegetables. We have an exciting new partnership that we want to announce very, very shortly, but it's a wonderful opportunity for us to get local produce cooked and served all throughout the Bahamas. I can't wait to announce it. I just can't just yet.
All right, so I guess you'll be back to. All right, so once again, give us the contacts that persons can reach you guys can reach Bahamas Striping or Rotary Club Bahamas. Sis?
It's a rough one for you.
Man, it is. I don't know where to pluralize.
Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas.
There we go.
Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas.
So we pluralize the clubs. Where can we reach those organizations at?
Again, you can reach us on our Facebook page. We are at Bahamas Striping Group on Facebook, but we're also Let's Make a Difference on Facebook. You can call our headquarters at 394-7777. My name is Astra and Bristol Roll. You can ask for me and put your name on our volunteer list.
So just a quick question for those who prefer to do stuff online. The Let's Make a Difference page, could they send queries to that as well, or is that more informational?
We'd like it to be more informational, but we'll respond to queries from that page as well. Really and truly, the best way to make an impact is to go to that GoFundMe page, though.
Very important.
Sure. All right. And how do you reach out to?
Well, Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas. We're on. We have our website. We have our social media pages. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. On any of those pages, and we will answer your message and any queries you may have about the initiative or questions about how you can support.
All right, and you can also reach out to Hands for Hunger. They open at 10 o'clock. 327-60 or I guess you can reach out to Hands for Hunger at handsforhunger.org. Thank you so much, Astra and Brista, Roll from Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, and Valentino Hamilton from Rotary Clubs with an S.
Yes.
The Bahamas? Of the Bahamas. Thank you guys so much, and we wish you all the best. Hopefully we'll hear from you. You know what? Can I sign up other people? Can I, Dwight? Because Dwight's not doing anything with his life.
With their consent. Yes, with their consent.
This is the Bahamas. Have you heard about marital rape? There's no consent. Sorry, baby. We'll come back. Thank you guys so much. Keeping it light. Keeping it light, everybody. Keeping it light. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after the news.
Shake, go down low, glow. Go down low, glow. The people yell at them so. Go Lucy, go glow. Now loose and glow like Carlo. Granny will drink anything. But boy, when they get juice up, man, you in for a treat. She say from 9 to 5 is from 5 to 9 is party time. So when the music plays, you best come and join the line. So I start to get excited. Jump on the floor.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want to see it function. I can tell them no more joking. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. Dixon Road, we want local government. Cheddar Road, we want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Blunt.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
Tired of paying too many bills and loan payments each month?
Sure. On easy payments with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
And welcome to Morning Blend. Because, you know, when you hear the cool guitar riff, that means it's Morning Blend business. This is Tuesday, April 28th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. I'm Stephen Hanna filling in for Dwight Strachan, joined by Nicholas Hall.
Good morning.
All right. We are going to be talking very shortly with the general manager of BAIC to talk about all the wonderful things that BAIC is doing. But first, it's time for the morning business report. Nope. Oh, it's not time for the... Okay, good. I read this schedule very incorrectly just now. We are going to go... He's on the line now. No, okay. Right. I'm going to read the text messages. My producer is lining up our call, but yeah, we're also going to talk about what BAIC is doing. I know they're having an event this weekend, but also BAIC does a lot in the community. Yeah. And I don't necessarily know if everybody knows everything that they do. And so we are going to, somebody literally just texted, Kong Solid with men is the worst of the worst.
So they're saying that's a prime reason to...
Yeah, for that's a previous conversation. Hello, good morning. You're on the air?
Good morning, Stephen. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. It's so good to have you with us. I actually don't. What do I call
Yes,
you?
it is. Yes, it is. Thank you so much for having me, Stephen.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. So, off the bat, all right? I know a lot of people here, every government organization have a bunch of acronyms and abbreviations and letters. BAIC, what is it? What is the primary function of it, just for persons who may not be aware?
Right. So BAIC is an acronym, stands for the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
We are a quasi-government agency that was established in 1981 by an act of Parliament and was operationalized in 1982. So this year, we are celebrating our 41st anniversary as a going concern, and we are mandated by our act to do quite a number of things. We have a very broad mandate, including interventions in agriculture, in marketing of agricultural produce, stimulating the economy in a very broad way.
Right.
We manifest that through our business planning department, our entrepreneurial development department. We also have an orange economy development department that deals with our patrimonial heritage, and whether that is music, food, arts and crafts, drama, poetic writing. We're building that department out to full capacity to address all of those patrimonial areas. We have a food processing department that we'll talk a little bit about more, I'm sure, Stephen. We also have carriage of what we term commercial entities that have to do particularly with our agriculture value chain, and that is the packing house network throughout the Family Islands, the produce exchange here in New Providence, Port-of-Ski, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, as well as the animal feed mill at Gladstone Road. And additionally, Stephen, just to kind of round out for your listeners what we're about, you may have heard recently about our initiative. We are one of the largest holders of public lands, with some 20+ thousand acres on Abaco, close to 3,000 acres on Eleuthera, about 150 or so acres on New Providence, about another 50 acres on Andros, and then we've got the oil transshipment terminal in East Grand Bahama. And so BAIC's breadth
is wide
in terms of its mandate reaches into almost every sector of our economy.
Right. You guys do a lot. I want to start off with the packing house. We hear the term packing house all the time, and even produce exchange, but I think that the meaning of what these things are, it kind of gets lost. What is the packing house exactly? How does it work? Because I know that you go there for vegetables, but like, where are you guys getting the vegetables from? How does the movement of the produce actually work?
Okay, so you want to dive into that with a little more specificity? Fine. So the packing house, Stephen, are a network of facilities across. We've got, I think, about 7 Family Islands that have, at minimum, 1 packing house. Some of the islands have 2, some have 3 packing houses that are responsible for collecting, sorting, grading the produce that is grown on those Family Islands. And so the farmers, when it's time for harvest, pack their crops and take them to the packing houses, and the packing houses will sort and grade them, and the ones that are acceptable they keep, and they ship them to New Providence every Thursday, and they are received at the Port-of-Ski dock and brought to the produce exchange, which is located here at our primary campus, our headquarters campus on Old Trail Road and Edison Key Drive.
Right.
And so that is the supply chain of how our farmers through the Family Islands that are in production are able to get their produce to the produce exchange. Now, the government has mandated the AIC to purchase from each registered farmer on an annual basis up to $9,000 worth of produce. However, there's consideration being given to that amount within the framework of a very, very comprehensive approach to how do we bring a more organized framework to agriculture in our country so that we could continue to reduce the amount of agricultural commodities that we import. I'm sure in due course you will be hearing a whole lot more about something called a national crop schedule that may now begin to bring a better organization and rationalization to how we do agriculture in the country.
Right. So we might see a situation where we are able to provide all of the tomatoes that we need because we schedule it amongst the farmers on the Family Islands when we bring it in.
So the issue isn't for our farmers. I mean, not that your point is, but the issue for our farmers isn't that they don't have the talent, the wherewithal, and the knowledge.
Right.
It is whether we have a systematic approach that properly organizes it, because the way the system is set up now, we find out what's coming to the produce exchange maybe with 2 or 3 days notice. Sometimes the volumes that come are beyond the retail market ability to purchase.
Right.
And so we have maybe 3 days to notify the big wholesalers that we have an abundance of tomatoes, watermelons, sweet peppers, finger peppers, etc. And those type of companies, they order weeks or months in advance. And so when we call them 3 days ahead of time, because we've gotten the information, with 3 days notice, oftentimes it's too late for them to offtake, some of the large supplies that we have.
Right.
Fortunately, there is what's called a secondary market, and that kind of leads into our processing area. And so helping to grow our processors who are doing jams and jellies and sauces and seasonings of all kinds. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure, Stephen, as we go along.
Yeah, because I know that we see a lot of them popping up inside of the food stores now. I see a sweet potato jam that's inside the food store. And of course, you see like the pineapple jellies and the pepper jellies and stuff.
There you go.
Is that, I know that BIC, I know that you guys help farmers and help producers and industries of all types. Are these persons who may have participated in, I guess, workshops? What's the actual relationship between?
So BAIC's role in terms of the entire agricultural spectrum is kind of multidimensional, right? So again, as one of the largest landholders in the government, we're able to assist farmers if they need land to grow on. We can assist them with that. So we have leased land available for farmers. Additionally, I mentioned in my introduction, we have what's called a fish and farm store. So all the input supplies, generally speaking, whether it's seeds, pesticides, herbicides, fencing, etc., they can get at the fish and farm store, generally speaking. On the technical side of it, that will be more within the domain of the Department of Agriculture, who will be able to assist farmers with, proper growing techniques, how to mitigate any pests that may, be affecting their crop, etc. So BAIC, in terms of the farm value chain, we can provide you with land, we can provide you with input supplies. We can also take your crops and put them into the market and pay the farmers. Obviously, we have to pay them, for whatever crops we receive from them.
Okay, so that's good. I want to get into the because I know you guys, the event that you're having, I feel like there's going to be a lot of products, local products, both in the cultural sphere as well as the agriculture and the food area that's going to be on display. But before we get to that, I think that one of the things that, like, the immediate benefit that a person can experience from BAIC is the produce exchange that it's on Old Trail Road. I think it's directly across from PTVI.
Yeah.
Right. So, every Thursday is when you guys get the new shipment in.
Yes, Thursday evening, so it's freshly available Friday morning, and we typically have a line outside of the produce exchange that opens at 7 a.m. So the line is pretty much there sometimes from quarter to 7 or 6:30.
So right now is the to Old Trail.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, you get the freshest produce from our farmers. So harvested maybe on Monday or Tuesday, shipped Thursday evening on store shelves Friday morning, and in your plate on Friday late morning, Friday afternoon. Can't get no fresher than that. So while we have, other people that do other things that supply our needs, can't beat us with freshness, can't beat us with our taste profile.
Right. And so I don't want to put you on the spot. I was going to ask you if you know what items might be in the store. I know that the Produce Exchange sometimes releases a little flyer to say what is on sale. Oh, are bananas in season right now?
Bananas are in season, yes. I walked over there yesterday, and even though the quantities of items were pretty low, we still have some butternut squash. I saw some gold peppers, saw some bananas. I think I may have seen some pumpkin, tomatoes, definitely. So, I'm sure it's much more than that, but that's, what I recall, off the top of my head right now.
Right. So
So thanks for putting me on the spot.
No, I apologize. I was trying to look for the flyer because I know that you guys put out a flyer weekly about how much the stuff costs per pound.
Yeah.
And I'm almost certain at the rate that I see persons purchasing things that some of these persons are buying from Produce Exchange so they could sell either roadside. It's not just for like personal consumption. It's
right. So, I mean, the whole idea is to, help our farmers increase their production by having our, consumers buy their produce, whether that's at the, homemaker. We've had people, Stephen, patronize the produce for years. We have people that come to the exchange every week that talk about when it was at, Potter's Key Dock and when it was perhaps somewhere else. And these people have been faithful, loyal patrons of the Produce Exchange because they understand and realize the quality of produce and the prices perhaps better than for produce that you could find anywhere else. And so, we try to make sure that people have access to affordable, nutritious, and fresh fruit and vegetables.
All right. Not a problem. All right. So we're getting a couple of texts in. And one is somebody asking, because they're concerned about the price of lime and grapefruit being so expensive and the possibility of persons growing that locally. And somebody else is talking about farming turkeys. I know because and now it's starting to make sense why everything would be tied together. BAIC you guys have the land. If somebody said to you, hey, we want to start a grapefruit grove because we think that that's a thing that in a couple of years might be necessary for the Bahamas, what would be the steps?
I think we're taking a very and our chairman and the board and our minister and his technical team are taking a very critical look at all of the commodities that we consume in large quantities. And making a determination as to whether or not we have the soil composition, we have the agronomy to be able to produce those things. Now, we had a very robust citrus sector many, many years ago.
Right.
It was devastated by, I think, a citrus canker years ago. So there was some blight that kind of, even earlier than that, I think Mr. Key and Mr. Sawyer, when they had Key and Sawyer farms, produced so much citrus, I am told, that they were even able to export. So whether or not, we have the ability or, we have the infrastructure in terms of our soil composition, I don't think that is in doubt. I think Bahamians are beginning to wake up more and more to the opportunities that exist. The infrastructure to support that, is continued to be, nurtured and grown over the years. And, it's just now whether Bahamians are convinced that there is real opportunity in the sector. And I say to people all the time, some of the wealthiest people you will find on this planet are involved in the agriculture sector.
Yeah, because everybody needs to eat.
Everybody has to eat. And beyond that, Stephen, if I could just expand that, if you're wearing some jeans this morning or you're wearing a cotton shirt, you're intersecting with agriculture. So it goes beyond just what we put in our bodies to also what we put on our bodies.
That's true.
You know, if you're wearing some leather sneakers or a leather pair of shoes, that's agriculture. It comes from an animal.
Yeah.
And so when you really begin to think about the breadth and the scope of agriculture and the opportunities that exist, you know, you begin to realize that, you know, you cannot go a day without intersecting with agriculture just about.
Right. So if I say, hey, I believe in this dream, I want to participate in this, I guess you approach BAIC and you say, well, here's my business plan. How do I begin, I guess, leasing some property for either for growth or for production? How does it work exactly in that regard?
So you're right. You know, it obviously starts with the plan. And if you don't have a business plan, as I mentioned earlier, we have a department, the Entrepreneurial Planning and Development Steward. They will help you put a business plan together. Thereafter, you know, the normal and perfunctory documents, your passport, NID, business license, etc., will be required. And you can go online, and from the comfort of your home, you can upload all your documents, complete the application form, and generally, you know, it is a board approval that is required. Our board meets monthly.
Right.
And so depending on when you submit, you know, if it's before the board meeting, you can get your approval within a month or, you know, 45 days.
Right. Now, I know that sometimes the approval process may take, I imagine that do you guys have like a backlog going on right now with?
Streamlined. It's been streamlined to 30 to 45 days.
Okay. All right.
Now, the only backlog we have is the request for land on New Providence, because the two industrial parks that we have on New Providence pretty much saturated.
Okay.
We've been in great discussions with our ministry, with our minister and our PS, Minister Clay Sweeting and PS David Cates and the team, looking to see whether or not there can be any accommodation made for BAIC to get some of the agricultural land that is, you know, within the purview of the ministry directly. They've been open to those discussions. We're also talking with some private individuals to see whether there's opportunity for joint ventures to take place in terms of access to land on New Providence as well.
All right. Okay, awesome. And somebody messaged to ask, you know, we eat more chicken than anybody in the world. Why don't we have a chicken farm? I know that is something that BAIC and the Ministry of Agriculture is presently working on. You guys just had a whole big to do down the road is coming online in terms of poultry in the Bahamas.
Absolutely, great question. And so I think it was February 27th or thereabouts, we had the launch of the Golden Yoke Project. That project is well underway. We're expecting some of the first set of equipment with regard to the feed mill to be in country not too long from now. So obviously, you know, if we're going to take our egg production to scale, having some 60 to 70,000 birds on a farm at Gladstone Road, but one thing we need to have the assurance of is that we can feed those animals every day. And so we're looking, even incrementally, to get to self-sufficiency in eggs. And that project is well underway. As a matter of fact, we had a technical team meeting yesterday that was tremendous. And we're looking for some things to be coming out of the ground very, very soon.
All right. So that's great to hear. I believe that at one point it was said that Bahamians eat, on average, 100 pounds of chicken a year. You know, so I mean, I don't eat chicken. So
that is another opportunity. And you know, we say that if there are intrepid Bahamians out there, the ecosystem that exists now, you've heard from the Prime Minister to the Minister to my chairman, Honorable Leroy Major, all talk about and demonstrate that, you know, agriculture has a place on their agenda. And so for people that have interest, whether it's large scale or small scale, you know, connect with the AIC. You know, there's a tremendous amount of opportunities. We've been pushing them, you know, through our public engagements, through, you know, whether it's, you know, media, TV, social media. You know, we're trying to let, you know, for people that want to get into agriculture or light manufacturing or the arts and crafts or the orange economy sector, come to BAIC. If you need a business plan for some other sector, we can help you with that as well.
All right, yes. And the thing is, you guys cover so many different things. Sorry, we're joined by, remind me of your name again. LeVar is in studio with us as well. You guys cover so many different things that I feel like you need 2 hours to cover everything. But briefly, if you could just touch on the orange economy, what you guys are doing, because I know that Antonius Roberts has a studio.
Project Ice.
Right. So
yes,
tell us a little bit about that.
He's doing a tremendous work there with his art incubator. He's grooming the next generation of our artists. Obviously, he is a known quantity in this country, and he, just from his vision for what, the arts should be going into the future, has created this space where, artists can come in and curate their work and really build out their portfolio. And he's, obviously in our park, and we have a great relationship with him, and are really inspired by a lot of what he's doing. But also speaking a bit broadly about the orange economy, I just want to mention two things, Stephen, that are hot and coming up very quickly. And that is tomorrow we will be having, so we have something called the And Tell series, which is a series of events that are designed to incubate and curate some of our cottage industries and to bring in some of the big players that perhaps these cottage industry persons would not be able to get. The first of our And Tell series will be happening tomorrow, and that is the Taste and Tell. And I think you referred or alluded to it a little bit earlier, where we will be having around 60 processors who process all manner of things that Bahamians probably don't even know. From, like I said earlier, from jams and jellies, sauces to wines, peanut butter, honey, seasonings, spices. All of them are going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
The event is free of charge. You can sample as much as you want, and once you do, you will be buying, all of that inventory. And it's important for us to do this because, we need to see more of us on our store shelves and in our homes.
Right.
And, Mr. Kraft and Mr. Hines, they're not their way with us, for as long as they should. It's now time for us to begin to, manifest and lift up the things that are indigenous to us or the things that, are part of who we are. And whether that is through our food or other means, it's important. So tomorrow from 12 to 7, right here at the BAIC Park, we're also having a mixology contest. Mixologist that's going to be in a competition to mix a drink that represents us as a nation. The drink has to have, aquamarine, gold and black in it.
How are they going to get black in it?
Well, they the mixologist, I don't know, right? So they have to find a way, and again, all of these things are free. You can sample as many things you want for free, and then you can purchase, obviously, the regular size items. But we have about 60 vendors. It's going to be a fantastic time. We have a spot for the kids, with the bouncy castle and the cotton candy, et cetera, et cetera. But for the adults, there's going to be a variety of things. And one more thing, Stephen, in terms of the orange economy, on May 27th, we have the second in our And Tell series. And we'll probably be coming on your show to talk a bit more, but that one is called Smell and Tell.
Okay.
And that is where we're going to have our perfume makers, our body oil makers, our soap makers, our candle makers, our potpourri makers. We have Bahamians that do all of that. And we're bringing them together. It's going to be at the Premier Crew location.
The second one in May.
Sorry?
The one in May is going to be at Premier Crew.
It's going to be, the one in May. The Taste and Tell is going to be right here at BAIC on Old Trail Road and Edison Key Drive.
Right.
But just want to put it out there that look out for us in May as well. We're bringing those people together and inviting all the hotels and all of the big buyers to say, come see what Bahamians are doing. Take them from producing 500 of these things per month to 5,000. And on the Taste and Tell, on the process items, we just signed an MOU about 5-6 months ago with Milo Butler and Sons, who is going to be the distributor for selected processors whose items meet their standard, and we need Bahamians to say, I want to see Stephen Hanna sauce in the grocery store, and it will be there. Because once the demand is there for it, we'll make sure it gets on the shelf.
Stephen Hanna garlic aioli. But yes, I have seen a growth of more and more Bahamian products on the shelves, particularly in the jam section, which is good because that helps to prevent food waste. And because like very early on when you're talking about the packing houses, there's a level of vegetables to sell it in the raw form, but a mashed up tomato could still become ketchup, and so there's still.
Steven, we got Bahamians that make pancake mix, beautifully designed and taste amazing. They'll be out there tomorrow. So my point is,
they're giving out pancakes tomorrow?
A lot of times, obviously you cannot support what you don't know about. So we're having these interventions to bring awareness. We're creating these collaborations to be able to now bring all of the players to the table to cause our cottage industry players to be able now to grow to small businesses, to medium-sized businesses, to big businesses. Matuks from Trinidad that, has been sending their an A and B that's been sending their pepper sauce. We need to start winding them down. We have a unique flavor profile. We got people who make tamarind sauce. Where you want to go for tamarind sauce? You want to go to Jamaica for tamarind sauce, or you want to go to Miami for tamarind sauce? The Bahamians make tamarind sauce. That's us. Right. That's our things. And we need to lift those things up and celebrate who we are.
Yes, definitely. And also, because you guys do so many different things, I feel like the best thing would be for persons to they need to, I guess, visit the website and see how they can work alongside BAIC, because like you're saying, it is agriculture, but it's not just agriculture. It's not just processing. It's a myriad of things. So, and if you're talking about working with the orange economy and persons making jewelry and persons making perfume,
yes,
there's any number of things. And I know at one point you guys had persons making shoes inside the industrial park.
We had a tenant in our park we have a tenant in our park that makes toilet paper. Yeah, we have a tenant in our manor of cleaning chemicals. We've got a tenant in our park that is one of the biggest water sellers and producers. We've got a tenant in our park that's been paving roads throughout this country. We've got a tenant in our park that's an import-exporter between the Bahamas and Jamaica. We've got a tenant in our park that's landscaped many big businesses and provided, pork and other meats. And it's a myriad of businesses that BAIC is connected to and helps to nurture to grow.
So persons just need to go to BAIC's page online, either go to your website or go to your Facebook page, and I guess they can find it.
Yes, join our social media. We are updating all the time. There's a lot going on. We're so proud of the work that the team here is doing. We've got a lot more ahead of us to do. Our minister has thrown the support behind us in a tremendous way. We're focused on, stakeholder impact. And our stakeholders are the public, from whose purse we are subvented. And so we want to make sure that they feel the impact and that we're creating value in all of these spaces and being a place of opportunity for people that are aspiring to get into some kind of business. And whether they just need a plan, they can speak to Mr. Stewart. Whether they need some land, they can speak to Ms. Kemp and the team. Whether they need, to get some input supplies, then they speak to Mr. Ingram or Mr. Simonet. Or, it's just an amazing place. And, Stephen, this is my second tour of duty here at BAIC. And I can tell you, there is no place, in my opinion, like BAIC and the tremendous opportunity it has to help the everyday average Bahamian.
All right. No problem. Thank you so much, Mr. Troy Sampson from BAIC, General Manager. And we're going to be looking forward to you coming tomorrow, Nick?
Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, Stephen.
All right. I will be there. I had some butternut squash from you guys a couple weeks back. It's delicious. And so I look forward to all the free food that I get.
Glad you enjoyed it in Bahamas. We're looking forward. We know there's a lot going on tomorrow. But even if you take just an hour or two to come in and be with us, you're going to see some really incredible Bahamians showing you some things that you might not know that your fellow Bahamians are doing at a high level and a great quality.
All right. Thank you so much. We look forward to it. I'm going to say, General Manager Troy Sampson,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much for joining us.
Take care, Stephen.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We're going to be right back after this commercial break. You're listening to Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Ways to get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Don't be no fool, stay in school. Yes, man. Let your mind become a tool.
Just were meant for fools to be locked away from society.
Get involved. Come on,
get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Get involved, get involved.
Get involved, get involved.
Get involved, get involved.
They got a way to get involved. Get involved, get involved. Let's go. Come on.
After a hurricane or storm, get the Nassau Guardian's Hurricane Guide. The guide will tell you where to purchase building and cleaning supplies, waste disposal, medical care, which auto shop to go to after driving through flooded streets, and much more. The Nassau Guardian's Hurricane Guide will help to make sure everyone knows what to do in the event a hurricane approaches and after it departs. Take advantage of this double insertion opportunity. Commercials. Contact us today, 302-2300, 302-2300, or call your account executive. Will you be prepared?
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Ready to step into the future? From your front door to the backyard and everywhere in between. See and speak to whoever's there with Ring Video doorbells and security cameras now available at Alive. Protect what matters most, all from one easy app, available in your Google or Apple Play Store. Visit bealive.com/ring to learn more. We are alive.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity. It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it. My sales increased, and I can track my earnings. Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today. Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. It's been a strong first quarter for Bahama and Atlantis. Bahama president saying that we've had an extraordinary first quarter across all of our brands, and Atlantis operations general manager says that occupancy revenues continue to pace ahead of 2019, which you will remember is pre-pandemic. Noting that Bahamas' first quarter performance is up 45% year over year, the resort's president Davis said yesterday that bookings for the remainder of the year are equally as significant. This was while addressing the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association Board of Directors and membership meeting that was held virtually. We've had an extraordinary first quarter here at Bahama across all our brands, and I'm pleased to announce that certainly from the first quarter standpoint, we are up 45% year over year. Taking into consideration the first quarter of last year, when we had the Omicron outbreak. We've seen a significant amount of demand. We hit in March an all-time record for the property. 90% would be the roundup of occupancy across all the brands, with Hyatt actually exceeding that. Our restaurants remain strong. We continue to see group business and bookings for even next year into 2024, as well as all are well over any prior years looking into the future. So 2024 is still quite strong in the group booking side. The leisure business is not seeing any slowdown. Operations General Manager of Atlantis Paradise Island, Jackson Weech, said the property is reporting a similar type of performance in both average daily rate occupancy and room revenue that has exceeded expectations so far for 2023. Our occupancy and revenues certainly continue to pace ahead of 2019, and we are particularly encouraged with the uptick in group bookings. And I can say, insofar as our marina is concerned, there is a continued evidence of healthy growth there. On the product side, we continue the renovation of the Royal Tower. We are coming very near to the completion of having renovated all 1,200 rooms there. And construction build-out for the new dining venues continue in both our casino, the Cove, and Aquaventure. They're looking through to quarter 3 and quarter 4, the business continues to be robust, and the pace of bookings continue to be encouraging. And the Prime Minister announced yesterday while speaking at the Consensus 2023 conference hosted by CoinDesk, a news site specializing in Bitcoin and digital currencies, that alongside recently announced revisions to the Digital Assets and Registered Exchange, or DARE Act, the Securities Commission of the Bahamas and the Digital Advisory Panel are working on a regulatory framework and corporate structure for decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. A DAO, according to the financial media website Investopedia, is an emerging form of legal structure that has no central governing body and whose members share a common goal to act in the best interest of the entity. Popularized through cryptocurrency enthusiast technology, DAO are used to make decisions from the bottom up. Management approach. Davis announced to me is that the door will be open for these types of business structures in the Bahamas and a more rigid form of digital policing through DAO. And in your market watch, the CFAO market movers and shakers, Bank of the Bahamas had some change in the price. They've gone up 3.03%. Bahamas Waste remains unchanged. Commonwealth Bank, moving a volume of 26,000 shares, had a change of 3.48%. So they're up 0.012. That's 12 cents on the dollar. FAMGuard remains unchanged. Consolidated Water remains unchanged, Consolidated Water has dipped 0.5 cents, or they've dipped 1.46%, and Emira Incorporated has dipped 0.28%. The BizX All Share Index is up 17.02 points, or 0.70%. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Banquet in paradise. Everyone dressed elegant, the ballroom fixed up nice. The meal was served serve buffet style. You never seen such a spread. And people from many nations, they lined up to be fed. The Englishman, he takes some fish and chips. The American grab fried chicken, that's his native dish. The Frenchman bypass the food, he head straight for the wine. The German just click his heel, then Billy plate with veal. Then along come a Bohemian, a mountain on his plate. He act like he never eat before, and he ain't to eat no more. He had 5 pieces of chicken, macaroni and cheese, roast beef, pork.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Business. We're wrapping up for the day. I'm not Dwight Strachan. I'm Stephen Hanna. And
Also known as Chester.
Robards. And with me is Nicholas, not Sparks, Hall.
There we go.
Got it. And we've had a lot of fun today, guys. I'm really a little bit saddened because I told you, Nick, yesterday that I wanted to come here and talk about sparkling wine and champagne.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have enough time for me to discuss that.
No. You're very passionate about it.
Yeah, it is an important topic, and I think that it is the solution to all of our ills inside the country.
Just to be clear, you're saying drinking is the...
I did not say that. I said I wanted to talk about sparkling wine and champagne because I feel like it is an apt metaphor for so many different issues that we have within the country. But perhaps we'll get to it at another time.
Yes.
We have a couple of texts that I'm not good at multitasking, guys. I'm not good at multitasking, so I apologize. I only look at the messages during the breaks. I should do better. But we have a couple of text messages that Nick is going to read now. That's how that sentence ends.
Yeah, well, the most recent text is basically all related to BAIC.
Right.
So someone asked, when will they legalize marijuana?
That's not related to BAIC at all.
That's apparently in their mind. That's how it works.
Cool. I will bring it up with both the chairman and the general manager when I see them, and they will refer me to the minister, who will refer me to the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, well, one of the questions was why isn't there a ban on the importation of some of these products? I don't know, ban is the right word, but
they mean like tariffs.
Yeah, there should be higher tariffs for you to bring it in if it's something that you could procure locally.
Right.
But
we definitely would then have to meet the capacity where, let's say, if you needed 100,000 pounds of peas a year, if we only produce in 50,000 pounds, then it would be detrimental to us to put a tariff on it. But if we can get ourselves to 100,000 to protect that,
right?
So I think that is the direction that BAIC is headed in right now in terms of, and just generally, the government seems to be pushing towards agricultural stint on feeding ourselves. So it's important for Bahamians, right, to support local Bahamian growers and vendors, not just distributors, but persons who are actually, this is an actual Bahamian product in the Bahamas. Might there be growing pains? Yes, occasionally.
Yeah,
you might get a sour tamarind occasionally, but you have to be able to support the product, and then the persons who are making the stuff able to take the criticism and say, all right, we'll improve it in this direction and that direction. But that's the only way we're going to be able to build to capacity to get to the point where we want to get.
Right. Somebody else said they never even knew that there was a produce exchange on Old Trail Road. They need to advertise more.
Well, that is where Produce Exchange is presently. It is, so when you're on Old Trail Road, it's directly the entrance for BAIC. The whole entire park is directly across from BTVI. Right, so it is next to Solomon's. On Old Trail, right?
BTVI.
Right. So if you know where BTVI is, just go through there, and directly across there, that's where they're going to be tomorrow. They're going to be giving out samples of jams and jellies and pancakes. Apparently.
Amen.
I will. Oh, I do need to. I should pass by. I think I should pass by.
I mean, you could pretend you wasn't. That's fine.
I'm gonna pass by. I just want to see. I'm gonna maybe pick up some stuff. You know. Any other texts?
Yeah. One last one is question: why are we selling export item foods only in food stores? Do we have or practice food security, or are we willing to consume any garbage? So, you see it on
chips a lot.
Chips, and you see it on cereals, definitely.
Right. You know the reason why?
Symbol. So
I could tell you the reason why.
Go.
So it is. People think that it's like a nefarious thing, like this product is inferior and cannot be sold inside of the United States. So, value-added tax is a tax that gets taxed on to different things every step in the production chain. So, if I have a tomato, I buy the tomato, there's a certain tax on that. If I take the tomato and tomato paste,
it's a tax.
There's a separate tax on that. So when I buy the tomato paste, there's an additional tax that I'm paying.
Right.
If the person takes the tomato paste and makes it into spaghetti sauce, then there's another tax on that. So it's taxed like 3 times by the time it gets there. Now, if I say to the government, if I'm in the United States, and say, okay, I'm buying this tomato paste, but I'm making spaghetti sauce that it will not be sold in the Bahamas. I mean, in the United States. It's only going to be sold in the Bahamas.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for them to tax me for it because the final place where it's going to be is it. I will pay more to make it, and the tax wouldn't be going to the right people and all the different stuff, right? And so I don't pay the tax because I'm saying this isn't a product for America. This is a product for the Bahamas. And so in order for them to say, okay, we're giving you a tax break for making this because you're not making this for us, but to make sure that you don't, this ain't a sneaky scam, put on it, not for sale in the United States. So if anybody buys this in the United States, they know that you are cheating the government,
right,
and they'll report you.
Run the money.
And so you see this a lot with green stuff. So you talk, that's greens. Chips are usually greens because it's corn. It's corn or potato, right? Frito, anything that ends with Edo. So Fritos, Doritos are corn. Cheetos are corn. Lay's are potatoes.
And then end with Edo, we continue.
Right. No, but Frito Lay's is a company. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The whole point is, when you don't pay the tax on it, they have to stamp it to make sure that you aren't skirting the government of its money. Right? And so it's not nefarious. It's that our distributors are getting it at a cheaper rate than if they had bought the ones that don't say it. The ones that don't say it will get it. But that's how come if you think chips bad now for 105 and 116 a bag,
it'd be crazy. You
be buying $2 for a bag of Cheetos.
So just my brain is making me feel like it tastes different than the boy without the export sticker.
Yes. Well, they might also adjust the flavor for it.
There's a whole culture of people in the Bahamas. Myself was included until you explained that to me just now. That
it's a tax thing.
Yeah, something ain't right with this product.
No, but don't differently for different things. That's why KFC tastes different everywhere you go. Don't let the Freeport people swear that that's better.
No, we have the best KFC. Yeah. You ever had KFC in
I've never had
another country?
No.
It's terrible.
I mean, they season it to our taste. But before we leave, is there anything that you wanted to tell the Bohemian audience?
I mean, not really. I would say the only thing I'd say is
don't kill nobody.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. But also, when it comes down to crime in any form, right? I mean, we need to start accepting accountability for family and friends, right? We need to know that keeping him inside the house or her in the house and that they've done a crime, doesn't fix any issues. It more or less exacerbates it because the person is going to look forward to you constantly bailing them out. We all have family members who have been through some form of legal situation. So I just encourage people to do the right thing. What that looks like.
What does that mean?
What does that look like? I can't. For some people, it's a lot different. For me, it's just, if you've done something, I feel like you should be held accountable in some way. Now, do we have all of the mechanisms in place to say, if this person has done it, this is the correct path that we will take?
Not yet.
I don't think we're there yet, but we do need to at least get to the point to where people are accepting when something goes wrong, that something needs to be done.
All right. Well, thank you, Nick, for joining us.
Amen.
I was going to say something. My thing would be long. I long-winded. And I would go directly into Aaron's show. So I will save that for next.